cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace. We fall down and land on our face. Just to get up and finally escape. Wait, boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. They live through the story they made, okay? Boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. Hey, legends don't die anyway. I was working on a play today. Body bags covered away. I paved, zipped up like a bathing ape. How many of us then came and stayed? Not too many. I've been staying awake to get it and get right on every mistake. I give them a bite, they taking a plate. It's all been a feeling that I couldn't shake. So I just keep killing till I'm at the gates. We straight, we treat them like worms in a lake. They bake, just give me a drum and a bass. I skate and grind till I'm numb in the face, okay? Don't fuck up my day. Don't talk about clutch, I got ice in my veins. I'm colder than Trey, I stick to the code. I'm glitching the game. I do anything for the win at the end of the day. I gotta cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace. We fall down and land on our face. Just to get up and finally escape. Wait, boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. They live through the story they made, okay? Boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. Legends don't die anyways. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. They live through the story they made, okay? Boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. Legends don't die anywhere.
Just lose control and chase the house. Leave all your tears. We're on cloud nine. We live and die. The rain is light. Let's pray the night's gonna be alright. Just lose control and chase the highs. Leave all your tears. We're on cloud nine. We live and die. A river's light.
Mentally feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready, who ready? We ready, who ready? Who? We ready, who? Who ready? Who? We ready, who? Who ready? We ready, been ready. I waited, my turn, on God, held steady. I keep dropping back to back, I keep going if you let me. I've been sitting at the top, looking down at those who left me. Promise I'm not being petty, I'm the one they envy. Brody moving state to state, make $1 million out to send me. Plus I grind it from the start, I was stacking pennies. I might dip like Machiavelli after the confetti. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? We ready. Who ready? We ready. Who ready? Who? We ready. Who? Who ready? Who? We ready. Who?
Yo, 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 how are we all doing, people? How is everybody? And we are here tonight with the second edition of SLR. It's going to be Tier 2, and it is their season opener, and it is going to be a Silverstone this time round here this evening. Yo, Goto, how's it going, mate? Kai, easy now. Good P2 last night. Great to hear from him. Bina as well. Good evening, darling. How are we all doing? So, yeah, it is the season opener. Did have a quick look at how last season went for Tier 2. And, I mean, there's one name that stuck out the most, and it was Golden Egg Fryer. Now, he did claim the Drivers' Championship as well as the Constructors with Goggy. So, I thought I'd dig a bit deeper, see how well he actually did. And he actually did very, very well in his in last season, taking multiple wins across the season. Great drive from him. Don't quite know how close it was. He didn't have it all his own way. You know, other people were picking up wins and stuff like that. So it weren't as if it was an easy one for him. But nonetheless, he still got the victory. Yes, Ray, how's it going, bro? Good evening. How are we doing, my friend? Happy New Year, brother. We've not spoken since then, but Happy New Year, mate. I hope you're doing well. And got on. I'm doing amazing, mate. Here with SLRs, Tier 2. I mean, it's going to be hopefully it's going to be a good race. And we did a bit more digging, and we had a look at the race history from last season. And Silverstone was a good track for Golden Egg Fryer. Golden Egg Fryer. He did take the win there. So, like we said last night, is it going to be that nice that he's going to do it twice and go for another win here at Silverstone? Didn't quite delve into the other seasons. He might have won then. I just thought I'd have a look at season 12, get a feel for it in race 1, and we'll bring some more. Obviously, it comes into the equation as we move more info in regards to everything as we move on throughout the season. But thank you so much for everybody joining me. Absolutely love to see everybody in the chat already. Absolutely great to see everybody in. And let's have a look at the track info and everything here for Silverstone. And I mean, if you're an F1 fan, you already know what I'm going on about. So the first Grand Prix was held back on May 13, 1950. Silverstone was a part of the inaugural F1 Championship. So, yeah, it's been around for many, many moons, has Silverstone. The track length is 5.891 kilometres, with the lap record going to Max Verstappen, which he set back in 2020, which was a 1 minute 29.8 .097. The most pole positions goes to Lewis Hamilton. We all know his record here. It's, you know, I think it's going to live on for a very, very long time. It's going to be one of them very hard to be beaten, but he has took the most pole positions and most wins here at Silverstone. The pole run to turn one breaking point here at the circuit is 239 meters. The safety car probability is quite a high one. To say that, you know, in quite a lot of the corners, there is quite a decent amount of runoff space. The safety car probability around 88%, with the virtual safety car probability being 13%. The pit stop time loss, it says 19.9 seconds, but we all know that. I think everybody knows that to be an absolute lie. And it says 19.9 seconds, including a 2.5 second stationary stop. We do have 2 DRS zones in between 18 corners here at the Silverstone circuit. It's one of the tracks that, you know, does have a name for every part of this circuit that you can actually touch. Maggots and Beckett's probably being one of the more famous sections of the track, I would say. We all remember that beautiful moment with Hamilton going through against Perez, and I'm sure it was Charles Leclerc. A great move through. I think it's Vale. So yeah, definitely some great corners here at the circuit. Very, very good corners. And it was through club, actually. It was through club. I got done over in LRS. Oh, you did have a bit of a stinker for season opener, didn't you, bro? Didn't you? It didn't quite go Gotto's way, but he did have a brilliant qualifying nonetheless. Absolutely brilliant from him. But yeah, let's have a look at the driver lineup while we've got still some time to go. So this is your driver lineup for the season. I think all 20 drivers are in attendance. I can't quite see it on my Streamlabs screen, so I'm going to go through it on here with you guys. So in Team Red Bull this season, we've got BGR, Perry, and then we've got Halo joining him. In the Williams, we've got Zach is a Beast and LRS Carl, a name we all know very well here on the channel. Racing Bulls, it's Rusted Bull and Legend. In the Mercedes, we've got 2 names that we know very well as well. We've done some comms on them quite a lot recently. It's Ollie Matthews and Pavelson. Now, with Pavelson's and Ollie's pace, as we get Corey Morris with the follow. Thank you very much, Corey, for the follow. I know Ollie's and Pav's pace could be a very, very good team at Mercedes. That the Sauber team, it's F1 and Nello. In the Ferrari, we've got Goggy and Ryan Harris. In the Haas, we've got Jay Lemons and CJT, who we've seen, I think, last night out in the F2 race, which was, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. It was a brilliant, absolutely brilliant. In the McLaren, we've got Kiz Lesko, another name we know. SLR new, I'm going to say, in the McLaren with Kiz Lesko. In the Aston Martin, we've got Owen Howell and Arbon, another 2 drivers that we know quite well. Could be a very good pairing. And in the Alpine, we've got Eve and Hayes. So yeah, that is the lineup. Hopefully all the drivers do make it here this evening and are willing to take, are able to take part in that first race of the season. I think it's always good to start a season and try and start on your best foot and try and, start the season as you mean to go on, wherever that may be, wherever you feel your pace is. So, I mean, let's hope that that can be done. I'm going to jump onto the game. We've got everything set up. Let's hope we've got an invite waiting for us once we do get onto the game. But how are we all doing, people? Are we ready for this one? Season opener here for Division 2 here at SLR. Should be a good one. We've got Alfie in the chat. How's it going, brother? How we doing, Obo? Great to see that name in the chat. Been a while. Well, it's not been a while, but it's good, great to see you back. As we've got Amy in as well. I'm very well, thank you very much. Hope you're well. Hope you're ready for this one. Should be a good race. Know some names in this tier, and hopefully we're going to see a pretty good race from the drivers. Keep our fingers crossed for it for the season opener. I mean, there is that kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say omen, but in a lot of league racing, we've got Pavelson. Yes, Pav, how's it going, bro? Are we ready for this one? In season openers, where it doesn't quite go as everybody kind of plans. Everybody's just kind of getting to know each other on that first race of the season. They may have raced last season again, but obviously there's been that time away. There may have been little improvements from each driver, so it's reading that driver in a different way than maybe they had to before. So it is kind of a learning curve, that first race of the season, for everybody. Sorry, just let me get my webcam. Oh no, I'll leave it off. Can't be bothered. It is a crazy grid. Very, very good grid, actually. A lot of good drivers out there. So it should be an interesting season. And obviously, I think is Golden Egg Fryer in? Is he just under another name in the tier? We've got Gregors. Looking forward to seeing who's up for this season. Definitely same here, Gregors, lad. And thank you very much for the follow. Massively appreciated. Carlito there with the invite. Good, Carlito. Cheers, brother. Yeah, all good. Nice to see you doing comms for SLR. Mate, I've been wanting to do it for a while. I think they've had obviously people in doing it, but I just thought, you know what, I could join it through. I think I can't remember where I did join through, and came in and they seen my name and it was like, you want to commentate? I'm like, yep, definitely. What days have you got available? Let's go. Yeah, and it is good to see Obo in the chat. Really is good to see him. But yeah, let's get spectating. And we've got SLR Corey joining us in the comms pretty soon. I don't know whether he's in the background.
Hello.
Waiting. Oh, he is here. How are we doing, sir? How are you doing?
I'm all good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Looking forward to this one, with it being the season 16 season opener here for tier 2. And is Golden Egg Fryer, is he not in tier 2 anymore? Has he been moved up, or?
Yeah, so he's been moved up. Normally, the rule we have is if whatever division you win, you are automatically guaranteed a full-time seat in the next tier. So he's racing on Sunday in the McEwen division after winning last season. Well, dominating last season.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a look through the history books and seen an absolutely brilliant season from him, taking the win here at Silverstone as well. Shame not to see him back, maybe trying to go, but he's got the opportunity, obviously, in tier 1. I need to try and go for that. Win again at Silverstone might be a bit harder task, obviously. Different breed of drivers up in tier 1, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really do much F1 anymore, but the time I was there, it is very, very tough. And not just kind of in one race, but in every single race, because you've got people around you with very similar pace. It feels like an esports race half the time, where you're just waiting for a mistake to happen from someone around you just to kind of gain a position, to be honest. And qualifying in McEwen division top tier is so important because it can really just describe on how your race is going to go. If you're at the back, then you're going to have a very long race, but if you're at the front, you know you've got a chance. But it's not as easy as it sounds, and it's going to be very similar in division 2 as well. It has been for the past couple of seasons, where the skill gap has got so much closer, and one little mistake, whether it's in qualifying or the race, could kind of make or break your race, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have as you were saying, like with qualifying, it is so key when the grid is so close, because the DRS trains. I mean, we've got 2 DRS zones here at the circuit. It is quite a difficult. It's not an easy one to pass, is it, at Silverstone? People genuinely do have to make some big mistakes for you to really be able to go for the move and try and make some moves through the pack. And as we all know, turn 1 and 2, especially in league racing. I was saying, I don't know whether you heard me say in like the beginning, where a lot of season openers are a bit. I don't know, it's just in my experience. They're not. You see more improvement as you move on through the season, through the drivers. We might see a bit of contact. There is that other side where you don't, but just with my experience, I think in league racing, the first race of the season isn't always the crispiest, let's say.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'll agree with you on that one. Yeah, I think especially in the lower tier, well, I say lower tiers, the mid tier that we've got in Division 2, you see drivers mature over the whole season, to be honest. I can't really give an example, but it's kind of up and down the grid. you kind of see people improve race by race. If you commentate like the majority of races like I used to on here, you kind of get to know these drivers just by watching them drive, not even necessarily talking to them, and just some of the moves they pull off, how their driving style changes, and it is great to see, because you really think, how are they going to cope if they do go to the top division? We've seen many names come from the bottom of SLR right to the top, and again, I'm sure we're going to have many more in this division, probably in McEwen division next season.
Definitely. I mean, I know I've done comms on, I think, quite a lot of this grid prior to this. There is some very, very quick drivers. I've said in the beginning. I mean, I know Pav. I think I've done comms on Hayes as well. And with the pace that I've seen from all of them, like I said, it's going to be very interesting. And it is great, as you said, like, to see the progression in drivers. Like, that first race might not go how they planned, but it's how they adapt through the rest of the season, and they know that they can do better, so they're gonna do better, and they push themselves, and you see them moving the way up and picking up the pace. I mean, there's one personally for me. It's a lad called Sam Lewis, very, very quick driver. In the beginning, you could see his hot-headedness, like making mistakes and stuff like that, and he really ironed it out, and he went like back-to-back champion in a different league, and the progression, as I said, it is amazing to watch from every driver that you see taking part in these races.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Hayes is a prime example of that. I was lucky enough to commentate the majority of her championship winning season a few years ago, and how she started out that season was, I mean, it wasn't the best. Her qualifying pace was very far off. She's normally in the bottom half of the grid for at least the first half of the season, but as it went on, her qualifying performance just improved, and it did affect her race results. But even with those poor qualifying performances, she's got the race pace to back it up and to just kind of make up for those bad qualifying sessions. But Hayes, completely different driver now, a lot more mature, has got a hell of a lot of pace behind her, and I would not be surprised if we see her name probably right at the front end tonight.
Yeah, and it can help drivers out a lot, and massively. You do see that with a lot of drivers where the qualifying pace just isn't quite there, but their race pace. Another driver that I think I can reflect that on would be Barmy Tick. I think he's in the McEwen division. You can see it sometimes with him where the quality pace isn't there, but his race pace is absolutely phenomenal. Another one, Dusty Bassoon. I've seen that lad do many a last of first, just doing it like on his own. He's doing it on purpose. He's starting from the back, but the amount of races I've seen him win through doing that, just because his race pace is so strong, he knows he can make up them positions and go for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like it's a breed of drivers in SLR that just have the. I don't want to say it's luck, because the luck does come into it. You need to have a bit of luck there, but it's the skill and just how to navigate through those awkward situations, because a lot of people will just crumble under that kind of pressure and disappointment after qualifying. But drivers like Barmy Tick, I've seen him go from last to first, God knows how many times in a race I'm in, and you just think, what have I done wrong? And it's not necessarily he's done anything wrong, it's just he's done everything right and everything he needs to do, and everything is played perfectly. But yeah, it just feels like it's just over some people's heads. It just happens to them, and that's when you feel a bit more hard done by. But I guess those are the kind of races you learn from, and you just know you just got to do a tiny bit better next time to make sure it's you in that position, not them. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, the thing I always applaud as well is them drivers that, I mean, and you see it in quite a lot of races where it doesn't go right for them, but they show that they're here to improve and play the game, regardless if they've been lapped, regardless if they've made mistakes and they're spinning. It might be due to them turning assists off and stuff like that, but it's always good to see them drivers that might not know that they have the pace but sticking it till the actual end, because as you say, you do get drivers that buckle under that kind of pressure, even in a race where they've picked up some damage, and they're like, you know what, I mean, I've seen people in P2 throw away races, do you know what I mean, just because they picked up wind damage, but you've got that guy who's at the back absolutely smashing it, continuing on, and just trying to improve. I think that's always a good driver to watch, and have as much as respect for them as the guy who's actually winning the race, or girl. pays.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it's very hard to miss those kind of drivers, like Bolmitic, for example, as I mentioned earlier. Just those kind of racers just go under the radar, and you just don't see it coming until right towards the end of the race. You're like, they're in a race-winning position from the back of the grid, and I'm sure they know exactly what's going on in their race. That's all they can see. But from an outside point of view, you just don't see it happening. And it's rare to see, but it's always just so spectacular to watch, especially from our point of view, because you just never see it happen. But nowadays, with how a game is, how you've got to play it, and just all the chaos that goes on, you kind of see it a little bit more often than you used to.
Yeah, definitely. But the countdown is beginning. The first qualifying session of the season could set the tone here for the rest of the championship. Let's get settled in as we move into the qualifying, and let's see who can set the timing board alight with that P1 start for the race. As we get a few people in the chat. Sorry, we've been having a right good chat. I've really enjoyed that. But we've got Gregors. Unfortunately, no, I won't be doing Div 3. Golden Egg Fryer says, wow, this feels so strange. Miss you, Div 2. And then we've got Halo in the chat. Good evening, Halo. How are we doing? Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're ready for this one. But yeah, I mean, with the drivers that I know, obviously, Goggy, he did pick up the Drivers' Championship, didn't he? Not Drivers' Championship, sorry, Constructors' Championship along with Golden Egg Fryer. So let's hope he can, he's going to be a driver that's maybe looking to maybe have that same season again. Hopefully he can go back to back with that one. But obviously we're going to see a new champion crowned obviously this season with the drivers that we do have out on the circuit. And I can tell you that there's going to be no rain whatsoever here at the circuit. Just going to be some overcast conditions here in qualifying with the race. Just going a bit overcast towards the end. But yeah, unfortunately, no rain, because we do like to spice it up with the rain. But yeah, it's always interesting. There's that always age-old debate in regards to wheel being better than controller. Where do you stand on that, Corey? I'd be interested to know. Like, I think personally that the controller has a bit more of an advantage in the wet, whereas wheel has the advantage in the dry. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels in the chat, but let us know. But yeah, where do you stand on that one?
I mean, as a wheel player myself, I think over the years the game has very much kind of favoured us. But I think the more the games have gone on, I think it's started to balance itself back out a bit. I think it's track specific and maybe condition specific as well. Like there are some tracks that maybe do controller prefer, but I think in the wet conditions, I think it is probably leaning a bit towards wheel, to be honest. But that doesn't mean that a pad player can't keep up. Again, I think it is purely just down to personal preference and how you drive in these conditions. I know these cars are very, very slidey, and just how you treat them is what you're going to get back in return. But I remember back in the day, back on F1 2021, if it rained, then a controller player was guaranteed to win the race. Like a wheel player had absolutely no chance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just been like, I don't know, because like I'm a controller player myself. I did try going over to wheel, and it's been one of them that I'm maybe going to adventure back onto it this year. But I just feel so much more confident with the car in the wet conditions than I do the dry conditions in this game. It's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit backward how last year, on the last year's game, I had no confidence in the wet. It was the dry for me, but then this game, it's totally switched it on its head. But here we go. We've got Pav for Team Mercedes heading down the Hamilton Straight to start the first lap here in qualifying. And as he goes into turns 1 and 2, is Silverstone a track you enjoy driving at, Corey, in the game?
Yeah, I think I very much love it in the F2 cars here, whether it's reverse or the main layout. I mean, I haven't driven it in competitively in F1 car in a while, but I think last time I did win round here. So it is a very nice track for me. Some good memories around here. But yeah, it's I mean, in my opinion, one of the best racetracks in the world. It is so much fun, even though it is a little bit hard to overtake as the years have gone on. It is such a fun track, and it's got some of the most iconic corners in all of racing, to be honest.
Definitely, as Pav making his way through the circuit, doing pretty well here. No invalidation so far, as we've got a few people in the chat. Good evening, Owen. 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 How are we doing, sir? Hope you're okay, and hope you're going to be doing well here. You are racing in the Aston Martin team, so let's wish Owen the best of luck as we get Pav here hanging. Oh my God, my words have gone. Heading down the hanger straight into Stowe, on his way down now to the final few corners here. What has the Mercedes driver managed to do? Missing the lap data. There we go. It's going to be across the line for a 126.563 from Pav. Good lap there. We got Hayes out on the hard compounder tyres.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be doing any competitive laps on that. I think that's more maybe just to get some laps in, get some running, get comfortable. I don't know if she's done much practice before this, but normally when you see a driver out on the hard compound tyres, they're just trying to get some race laps in, to be honest. Means they haven't put much prep in.
Yeah, definitely is the case there. We've got Kislesko's gone across the line at 127.056 there. As we move down to the Haas driver of Skullkiller, he's going to be next across the line. It's a 128.341. Let's have a little look elsewhere as we've got Rusted Bull making his way through Sector 1. But how do you feel about the reverse circuit for Silverstone? Have you driven that in the F2 cars?
Yeah, so we had an F2 double at Silverstone last season, so we had the normal and the reverse layer. I find it really fun, to be honest with you. Some drivers not. But yeah, I think it's a really fun layout. After trying it for quite a few times now, you can get some very decent overtakes. I've seen there's a few cars retired. Goggy's gone into the pit lane and he has retired. Arbor's gone quickest. Arbon,
very quick lap there, 126.380, puts himself on that top spot. But we are going to see quicker times as the qualifying session moves on. Just 13 minutes left here in the session. We're on board with Rusted Bull. He's currently making his way down to the final few corners here. Can the B-Cab get up in that top three? Can he steal provisional pole away from Arbon? Around the final corner he comes. And across the line it's a 127.034. He puts himself P5. Puts himself in a decent position there.
That's a good lap, to be fair, from the RB. Pole time last season, by the way, was a 126.125, so we are getting very close to that already.
Definitely, I think we've got a very good chance with the drivers that are in. I think we can see that top all day tonight. I think we're going to see someone beat that. But CJ into the final few corners he comes, and CJ across the line at 126.966 there. Pushes Rusted Bolt down into P6 and moves into P5 as we move on board with the Ferrari driver, and he comes across the line with a 127.351, puts himself P9 with that lap. Good lap. Let's have a look at the Kick Sauber driver of Lanzi. Another driver that's got some decent pace, but he does look like he's backed out of that lap there.
I think we're on a cool down lap, to be honest with you, at the moment.
I think Halo just starting a lap. Yeah, so let's bump it down to SSR. Halo driving for the Red Bull team here this season. F2 reserve reverse double. One of the lads in the chat.
Oh, Rundle. Yeah, that was, let's just say it was not a fan favourite last season because we had a special format of a double points, 100% feature race only. Wow. Yeah, it wasn't really, it wasn't my finest format, to say the least, and thank God we aren't bringing that one back. But yeah, good track, but not the greatest format, and I very much learnt my lesson that day, to be honest. You do,
as a league owner and playing parts in leagues, you learn a lot, don't you, in your time. I mean, I did run one at one point. I learnt a lot there. You do tend to learn a lot running these leagues. But we're on board with Halo. Into the final few corners they come.
This is an amazing lap, by the way. I think he's probably going to go top here.
Here we go. Red Bull driver Corey calling it. Is it going to be the top spot? Round the final corner he comes. Red Bull across the line, and it is the top spot for Halo with a 126.176 there. And we've still got 10 minutes left in this qualifying session. And as I said before, I think we're definitely going to see that fastest lap beaten from last season.
Absolutely. We need to find half a tenth. It was a 126.125 from Owen Howe. Last season's championship runner-up was the man who got pole position. He is currently sitting in 17th without a lap time, but LSW Legend is on a lap. I don't know if the only one else is out there, though.
No. We have got a couple of drivers out on track. We've got Amy, Owen, and Evil, but they're all on out laps currently. Oh, LSW Legend having a bit of a moment there. But still moving to... there's a lot of time to be gained in them final few corners. You've seen the little... just lost the car a little bit. But still, absolutely cracking lap. And we have seen that fastest lap beaten pretty well there from Legend.
Oh, cracking lap from Legend, as you said. Quite a bit of time in it. It was very slidey through the final sector. But it's still enough to go provisional pole at the moment with just under 9 minutes to go.
As we now move on board to Owen Howell, who did have the record that he's it's been beaten now from Legend, but can we see him go one better than Legend? We're on board with the Aston Martin driver as he's making his way through the circuit, through Aintree, down the Wellington Straight. He goes. It's going to be Brooklands up next for the Aston Martin driver. Says purple sector 1. Not quite sure. It's always a thing with this game, innit? You don't know whether that is actually the the fastest sector. It's been
I can confirm it's 10th and a half off at the moment of Legend in sector 1.
Oh, thank you very much, Corey.
Sorry to let everyone's hopes down.
I know, we thought he was going to go for it. You never know, there's still sectors 2 and 3. Come on, lad. But yeah, I mean, he's still going to have another shot at it, and hopefully he can go quicker, at least than his own, personal best here as last season.
This will be very close because he has found a 10th on Legend in the middle sector here, so this might be potentially challenging pole position for Owen Howe.
Here he comes. It's into the final few corners for Owen. Has he done enough? Has he kept the pace through these final few corners? It's across the line, and it's not. It is so close there between the top two. That's brilliant driving. I think this race is setting itself up to be a very, very interesting one with how close we've actually got it as Eve going in, and there's not much split in the top 3 now. This is getting closer and closer, people. The grid, it's looking like it's setting itself up for a very good race, innit, Corey, lad?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I haven't been on Division 2 for a couple of seasons, but this is how it left off with these kind of gaps. It's just so close in Division 2, always. It is hands down the best division to commentate in SLR, and I've got a feeling these gaps are only going to get closer come the end of the session. But yeah, not even half a tenth between the top 3. Arbon is on a good one at the moment. I know he's nearly 3 tenths up.
Let's have a look at Arbon in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin doing very well here in qualifying so far. Have 2 drivers up near the top. We've got P6 and P2 covered. So they'll be hoping to improve on that as Arbon is up on his lap. Here we come with the Aston Martin driver. Could someone invite me back? I retired. As Goggy needs an invite back,
I've got it.
There we go. And Arbon does improve, but it's only by half a tenth. But an improvement is an improvement. In P6, he stays as Goggy has joined back. Let's have a look at Hayes. I think Hayes on the way into the pits. Yeah, they are. They've already done their lap. People coming across the line. Let's see what BGR can do for Red Bull. Yes, Nello, how's it going, bro? How are we doing? Great to see you in the chat. What are you meant to... You're actually meant to be a driver, are you? What's happened? Hope you're well, regardless, mate. Hope you are well. I think BGR's on his... Kislesko has improved. to P9. Trying to find someone who's actually out on a lap. Let's have a look at the...
F1AB QWERTY is, I think.
Just above, he is, and he's a tenth, just under a tenth and a half up. That will see him move above. Oh, he's gone straight into the pit. Oh, he invalidated his lap. Straight into the pits there. So we'll have
deep into Cops, but not sorry, not Cops. I tell you what, my corner names are gone. Stowe, that was it. Yeah, he went a bit deep into Stowe, very easy to do. But F1AB QWERTY, kind of the dark horse of Division 2. At least he was back in the day. I'm sure he still is. Where sometimes doesn't have the best qualifying, but he goes very much under the radar in the race. He could be P12 one minute, and the next minute he could be up in P4, P5. Like, I probably expect to see the exact same from QWERTY once again tonight.
Well, let's hope so, as we've got Golden Egg Fryer in the chat saying, love the F2 comms last night too. Thank you very much. I do try. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and if other people enjoy it, that's good enough for me. Don't need all the subs and all that palaver. At the end of the day, I'm doing something I enjoy. Don't need anything else for it. Enjoy doing this. Enjoy being here. But let's see what the Mercedes driver can do of Pav. Can he get up onto that top spot? He needs to find at least 0.3 of a second if he wants a crack at provisional pole there. So here we go, on board with the Mercedes driver. Let's watch for the sector splits. See if he's actually gaining anything as he makes his way through the circuit.
I was just on board Rusty Bolt. He's just about to finish his lap. He's just gone P4, but yeah,
Wow.
Pav, very good first sector that.
Looking clean so far from the Mercedes driver up to the split. He's gained a small amount of time, but if he can keep gaining, keep improving, maybe it's sectors 2 and 3 where he can find the most time. As he's now making his way through Woodcote, and it's going to be through Cops he comes. I bet I wouldn't mind actually doing a bit of F2, like, you know, just practicing with the F2 cars, because they do look a lot of fun. And the liveries, I think that, I mean, I said it last night, but they are very, very nice. Very eye-catching.
So beautiful, to say the least. I very much enjoy the Invicta.
Yeah.
No bias whatsoever. But I tell you what, Pav, that is a great middle sector. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him go on the front row here.
Here we come with Pav. Can he get onto the front row with the Mercedes? 5-place grid penalty for CJ. Illegal blocking. But round the final corner he comes. Pav across the line. And it's enough for provisional pole of 125.989 from the Mercedes driver. Absolutely cracking that. Big gains there in sectors 2 and 3 that help him take that provisional pole. But the other lads have hit the circuit. And I think it's only fair that we jump on board with Legend. He did hold that provisional pole spot before Pav went across the line. So now it's down to Legend. Do you think he can do it, Corey? Do you think he's got this in him?
We will see. But Legend absolutely has the pace to challenge for pole positions, for race wins. He didn't have the greatest of season last season. Finished just inside the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. But it appears he's been putting in the effort. He's been putting in the work. And it looks like he's going to be delivering at the moment. I'll tell you what, that lap from Pav is quite unbelievable, to be honest. The top tier pole position last season was a 125.5, so he's only 0.4 off.
That is an absolutely stellar lap from him then, but we've still, like we know, we've still got improvements here. Owen, I think, actually is on a lap a bit further down, and Owen is actually up quite a lot through Sector 1. The Aston Martin driving, improving massively here. Can he keep it together? Maggots and Beckett's now up for Owen. Let's hope. We've got the Sector 2 split coming right up on the exit of Chapel here. And he's up by nearly 0.2 of a second, is Owen. This is going to be enough, potentially, for provisional pole spot. Owen heading through the final few corners, down through Vale. And it's going to be into Club. Can he keep it together? Here he comes. Final corner for Owen. It's across the line. And it's a 125.854 there. Moves into provisional pole. Let's drop it down to Legend. Legend's invalidated.
Yeah, he messed it up in the middle sector. Had an awful middle sector. Went off at Cops. and that is his lap time over and done with. Legend out of running for pole position. But yeah, Owen Howe looks to be on for back-to-back pole positions here at Silverstone. Unreal lap from Owen.
We've got Eve in at P4 in the Alpine, improving massively through Sector 1. Nearly a 2/10 gain. He's just got to keep it together. This could be enough for that provisional poles. Well, for pole position now. As everybody is finishing their final runs. Can the Alpine driver stun us here with an absolutely brilliant lap? No, they can't. They've invalidated. The pressure. And they were a 10.5 up through sector. They were still improving. No way. Let's have a look at Arbon. Arbon's up through sector 1. Currently P8. Needs a big sector 2 and 3.
Traffic though ahead of him. It's his teammate. It's Owen. Owen might be able to give him a tow here.
Here we go. He's up nearly over 2.5 tenths of a second here. Is Arbon. This could see him jump into the top 5. Maybe even top 3 if he continues the improvement through sector 3. Here he comes. It's the final few corners for the Aston Martin driver. Here he comes. Final corner for the Aston Martin team. It's across the line. It's a 126.009. He improves to P3. Aston Martin dominated qualifying here with a P1 and a P3. That qualifying was absolutely brilliant. And look how close it is through that grid, Corey. This is going to be one hell of a season.
Absolutely. I expect nothing less from this division, to be honest. It is always the closest of the 3 F1 division we have here in SLR. And the chemistry from the Aston Martin pair is just incredible to watch. Normally going into a new season, it takes you a few races to get that kind of chemistry with your teammate, especially in qualifying, giving those toes out. But Owen and Arbon, they've known each other for a very long time, and they are clicking very quickly here into season 16. And they are first and third on round 1.
I mean, this could set the tone for the season. Aston Martin starting very well here. And as you said, it is kind of hard when you start a season not knowing the driver, but they've started off well. They know each other, and if they can work like that, it's always good. You don't really see it that much, which is a bit of a shame in league racing, where you're getting teammates helping teammates. But when you see it and they pull it off well, and it helps the team out, that is what racing is about. Working together, helping each other out. One might be a little bit quicker, the other one might be a little bit slower. Give them a bit of help. And it's shown there that Owen helping his teammate out, getting up into P3. They've got a great opportunity to really dominate this race. Try and get Arbon up into P2. And they can try and hold on to the lead of this race. Try and manage it. But they've got drivers in behind them that, you know, weren't slouches there in qualifying. They really did try and go for that top spot. Everybody had a crack at that.
Yeah, they all give it their absolute all, and again, showing how close the pace is in this division. Season after season, it's always the closest, but Owen Howe looking for kind of revenge for last season, finishing runner-up. He's going to start the first race of the season on pole position. Arbon as well had a pretty decent last season, finished 6th in the Drivers' Championship on 104 points. And he's going to be hoping to kind of up that even more this season. And if the Aston Martin pair are going to work like that, then I think everyone's going to have a bit of a tough season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, even the predictions, I think this swayed, like, for the season, who's going to win. It swayed towards the Aston Martin, like, teams taking, the constructors. There was a big lean, weren't there, towards the Aston Martin team to potentially take the whole joint constructors championship. Because they do, yeah, I think they do look quite strong throughout the divisions.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They have definitely got some of the strongest driver pairings across the whole of SLR, to be honest. And I think starting off tonight, it's very much proving it. First and third for Aston Martin. RB very close by as well. They've got LSW legend Rusted Bolt in 4th and 6th. Red Bull 7th and 8th. They've got a lot of challengers. But when you've got a very strong driver pairing like that, it is hard to come against, especially when they're going to work together like that. And I'm very much looking forward to this race. And the formation, sorry, we don't have formation lap. Race is going to start at 2031, I've been told.
2031 race start. And yeah, I mean, that is probably one of the closest qualifyings I have seen throughout a grid where it's, I mean, it's all good and well, like hyping up quality is how that term then I think it's always down to sector 1 in it, really. You can kind of breathe a bit moving into sectors 2 and 3 because the cars have settled down a bit, hopefully under lap 1 by sector 2, maybe 3. But it's always that beginning of the race that can kind of catch people out, especially as we said in the run-up, that opening race of the season doesn't always go as, everybody planned. Everybody's going to be trying to nick that position, just get a feel for everybody. So let's hope and keep our fingers crossed that we see, a great start here for the first race of the season with Tier 2.
Yeah, absolutely, I completely agree. I don't think it's going to be the cleanest first few laps, as you said, because everyone's starting at 0, starting off fresh. I think, especially into the first braking zone at Village, we might see a few incidents. We've seen a few incidents there over the past few years. I mean, we've seen some rookie mistakes from even in F2 last night. Some SLR Corey decided to drive into the side of someone, like an absolute moron. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that again tonight, to be honest, because, again, first race of the season, everyone's going to get their elbows out.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say, this gentleman that is joining in my chat, I did some review on him in the SLR Championships, and jeez, F2 is this man's domain. I mean, he'd probably be like, it'd probably turn a bit coy here and say, but this man can drive an F2 car. And last night was honestly a privilege to watch. It was, brilliant from not just Corey himself, but the whole grid. I mean, they showed up. We had who was it right at the back, and I gave major props to him. He stayed in it. I think he was lapped as well, and they just continued on it. It was absolutely brilliant to see. But yeah, I mean, if you see this guy's name in an F2 lobby, I'd just leave. I'd personally just leave.
I just do it for a bit of fun at the end of the day. So if a win, a win. But yeah, for me, it's just a bit of fun. I'm a little bit good at it, apparently. So
yeah. He's being very modest, people. But not long left now. Just I think we've got just a minute to go, and the race will be getting underway. Is there anybody that you kind of edging your bets on? Do you think Owen can take this?
Potentially. Owen has some incredible pace, and we've seen it over the years. In all the years he's been at SLR, I think Owen's going to be great. Legend, very much a dark horse. I think he's going to be up there as well. Pav, his lapping qualifying was absolutely incredible. SSR Halo, I honestly can't choose who's going to win this race tonight. Everybody is in for a chance. They've got sensational pace up and down the field, and it's going to be so close.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, like you said, I can't pick a name out. I just hope that everybody has a good race. I know that each and every one of these drivers up at the front and throughout the grid are going to have, hopefully, a good race, some good battling. But let's get going, people. We do have 5 red lights here for the season opener. It's season 16, and they are underway. Division 2 start their season, and the Mercedes of Pav moving up into the lead of the race. Is that right? Yeah, Pav, great launch off the start there. Caught. I mean, there was nothing that Owen or Arbon could do there about that. Absolutely brilliant start from the Mercedes driver, and he's looking to break away here, Corey. Great start from Mercedes.
Yeah, I mean, I got a perfect view of the start. Owen had a little bit of wheel spin, but Pav, I tell you what, I haven't seen that good of a start in many a year, to be honest. That was a fantastic launch from the Mercedes driver. And like you said, he's starting to take off a little bit now, but it's going to be very hard to pull DRS around him, but he has had a bit of a poor exit.
Yeah, he did have a poor exit there, and it's really brought Owen right back into things. Good start from Division 2. Turn 1 went really well for everybody, so that was great to see. I mean, let's hope we don't see any gaps starting to form, because this race is going to be very, very interesting to see who comes out on top. I've seen Pav do that kind of start before, and the starts that he gets are absolutely brilliant. The lightning, and Pav, teach me. That's all I'm going to say, because honestly, every race I see him, he's gaining positions off the start. He times it so perfectly. It's brilliant to watch. So Aston Martin now with everything going on with them. They've lost the lead of the race. You know, they can control P2, but they're going to want to close up, aren't they, in this lap with the DRS, try and get a car in front of Pav, and then try and put him under pressure, and try and steal P1 and 2. But again, absolutely brilliant start here from the grid. I think did Legend lose a couple of positions off the start there? We'll check the tyres as they're making their way through. And everybody started on the mediums. And that's going to be, are you going to be following that driver in, or have you saved enough tyres to go maybe one extra lap and have that fresher tyres at the end? The strategies need to start kind of kicking in the Reds. What they're going to do, an early safety car really does throw this race up in the air, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It can very much change a race, especially at this stage. The leader is very much going to dictate how the rest of the field's going to go here, especially in a game where you can follow so close and a division with so similar pace. Whoever's going to lead this race is going to just dictate on how quick the rest of the field is going to go, to be honest. And Pav, a fantastic first lap. Could not have gone any better in, but with DRS, Owen Howe is fighting back towards Stoke Corner.
Here he comes. He's tucked in behind the Mercedes driver. Just couldn't get close enough there to Pav to look to have a move. Arbon with a better corner there. I think Owen just suffering with the dirty air, setting back a bit. Arbon closing the gap back up to his teammate. But we've got Eve in the Alpine, putting pressure on the Aston Martin team, really trying to get past Arbon. As we do have, yeah, I thought it was Eve with a warning there. As they did break the track limits out of that final corner. But yeah, a few people picking up early warnings here. Lanzi has only got one to go, and we will see him with a 3-second time penalty. We do already have a time penalty as well. CJ with a penalty early on here at Silverstone.
Was going straight on.
Yeah, he needs to return safely. That's a good return to circuit there. Didn't cost anybody anything, but has lost a position and now splits the VCARB team. VCARB have done really well here. They're making moves.
Absolutely, yeah. They've got a great driver pairing in Rusted Bolt, LSW Legend, two established names, but LSW Legend flying his way back up to 4th position where he started, and now is hoping to close up to the Aston Martin pair, but Pav has got two charging Aston Martins behind him now.
Just showing the tyres there, but yeah, Pav, he just seems to have that good run out of Chapel, and it seems like Owen's not... I mean, it could be strategy at this point, couldn't it? With Owen trying to maybe save some tyres, tucked in behind Pav. There's no real pressure from his teammate to get past. His teammate, you know, is happy, looks happy to stay in behind. So could this be a, you know, bit of a strategy from Owen, trying to save some tyres, maybe go that little bit longer? Or has Pav just... Is he just looking like he's got the race pace here against Owen? Because he does look like his straight line speed is just that little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think strategy's going to come into it already with Owen. I think he knows he's just got to save the tyres. He's just got to stick with him, to be honest. As long as you can stay within about 8/10 or so going into a DRS zone, you know you're going to be completely fine with how you can follow on this game and how effective the DRS and ERS is. Yeah, with Owen, you've just got to think of the long game here. You're going to be going onto the softer tyre after. Sorry, probably the harder tyre actually after. I don't know what the strategy is around here anymore. But yeah, he's just got to be thinking of the second stint of this race, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely is looking into that second stint. The hard tyre is quite a good tyre. I think it may be the fact of, as we've got side-by-side action here, and there's a Red Bull round, and nearly into the wall. Halo breaking there, catching it, but there was contact there between the drivers going side-by-side. It never pays off to go side-by-side through cops. Never. We've seen some big incidents there, and they tried it, and unfortunately, it's Halo that drops to P18 as we've got more side-by-side action. We've got Carlito and Legend. I think it was Legend that went side-by-side with Halo, as the Alpine driver of Ease has actually managed to get back up into P4 past Legend. Legend has dropped positions. Carlito in at P7, having a good drive so far. We do have two DRS trains now. The top 9 are in a battle for the lead of the race, and then it's P10 down to P19 battling out for that P10 position. Oh, apart from Zach, actually. Zach, I think, may have had a trip into the pit lane.
think he had damage earlier on. He got involved in an incident with the other Red Bull of Perry, I think his name is. Saw one of them go round. But yeah, it's been a disaster the past couple of laps for the RB team, to be honest. Legend lost a couple of positions. I think he's got away with no damage, luckily. But yeah, they kind of dropped like a stone of the two RBs, to be honest. Rusty Bolt trying to get back in the DRS of Evo because he is right on the gearbox of Arbon here. But Legend, I'm not sure what's happened in the past 2 laps or so, but now he's under pressure from Carl.
Yeah, the 2 laps that he's done previous just haven't gone his way. And now he's got Carl putting under pressure. He's outside of DRS. Carl just needs a good exit out of Chapel here, and he maybe could try and put Legend under pressure. He just doesn't look too settled now. Something's happened, maybe mentally. He just needs that lap. You see it with some drivers that just need that lap of calm, and he may be able to get onto the back of his teammate. But the top 5 are starting to pull away, and we could see the top 5 breaking away, and in a race of their own, Legend with it all to do. He's closing up to the back of his teammate. I think his teammate may be trying to help him a little bit. Just stay within DRS range.
You've got to calm down now with everything that's been happening in the first 5 laps of this race. But Pab doing a great job out in front. But you've got to be praying for his tyres though, because of course he's going to be the one dictating pace. Everyone behind him is going to be tyre saving. But really, if you're Owen, you don't really want to lead the race at this point, because you could easily lose 2 or 3 positions by just not having that DRS. Because Evo at the moment is in a prime position to maybe not just get 1 Aston Martin, but to potentially get 2 if something happens in front of him.
Oh, is Evo nearly going for the move there? That was close. It braked just in time there on the back of the Aston Martin, avoiding damage, but looking very, very strong is Evo. So let's hope that we can see. I mean, we don't want, well, that hope is the wrong word, but let's see if he can put some pressure on the Aston Martin team. Getting very close there. But now we've got Rusty Bolt, and Rusty Bolt showing some strong pace there through Maggots and Beckett's, then into Chapel. I mean, Rusty.
Lost time behind his teammate. I think that's why they were battling, to be honest. I'm not sure who actually wants to lead between the two. And I mean, Rusty Bolt, he's getting ahead of Legend. He's now caught up to this little train. But Evo at the moment, I would not be surprised. He could be well, I was going to say he could be leading this race, but he's just gone near enough straight on at the chicane, and now he's under threat.
Yeah, just missed that there. But he does hold it, but he's lost DRS with it all to do now. He needs to use some of that ERS, close that gap back up, so he can stay with the top 3, or they're going to be having a race of their own. And this could be the point now where Aston Martin feel that little bit less pressure. You know, Evo can't close the gap. He's outside of DRS range as he does manage to get back in. Did he get it there? I don't think he did. Over the section line, he was outside that second. So unfortunately, he didn't get it there, but he's managed to stay with them, and he's brought it back. Great recovery there from Evo after that big mistake.
Just about saved it from getting overtaken by 1 RB, and the other one of Legend really is dropping like a stone now. Ami managed to go down the inside, I think it was, at Abbey Corner turn 1, and get up into 7th place. I'm really not sure what's happening to Legend here, but he really has just dropped off the pace. The last 3 laps or so, he's lost so many positions.
I mean, could it be potentially some minor damage for Legend? I do think it was Legend that got caught up with Halo. Halo has pitted and has gone onto the hards as well. But yeah, it could just be some, you know, minor wing damage that you can't really see, but he can see, you know, if he messes about, because there is that as well. But let's hope not. Let's hope it could just be a bit flustered. But he is dropping a bit, and Pav still leading. Great drive so far from Pav. We're on lap 8 in his race, very well. We're starting to see movement in the pit lane. We've got Goggy into the pits now as well. Probably moving on to the harder compounder tyres. And we are seeing a few more splits. Great battle from Kozlowski down. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a move down. See what's going on down here. As Kozlowski has the Ferrari driver in hot pursuit for that P11 position. But lands it right there. Lands it, though, has to be careful one warning away from a 3-second time penalty can really change this race for Lanzi.
Wow, what a move from Hayes. She's just gone round the outside of LSW legend at the hairpin at Luffield and going round the outside at Woodcote to finish it off. That is a champion's move from the former champion, up into 8th place now.
Hayes making moves in the Alpine. Alpine having 2 drivers in the top 10 so far. So do VCAB, so do Aston Martin. And they're going to be picking up some good points if they can continue on in this race in the Constructors for the start of the season.
Evo's in.
As Evo jumps into the pit lane. So Evo jumping in early there, trying to go for an undercut here on the drivers in front of him. Let's see if it pays off. As we've got a few more pitting now. We've got Kislesko, we've got Ryan Harris. Ami as well. So pit stop phase kicking in, Corey.
Yeah, Evo had some sensational pace in that first stint. I wouldn't be surprised if we manages to pull an undercut here. I hope it doesn't come back to bite him right towards the end of the race, because he was sitting comfortably in P4 but had the pace for more, to be honest, to be challenging the top 3, top 2, maybe even for the race win. F1AB QWERTY and LSW Legend now going side by side. In the infield we go. QWERTY has managed to get past Legend, who's just dropping even further down the field now.
Yeah, and just it looks so comfortable at the beginning of this race. The VCAB team making good progress, but since then has just been so unsettled, been getting overtaken there, runs wide on the exit of Cops. Just doesn't seem to be going too well for the VCAB driver. Let's hope the second stint he can feel a bit more confident and try and maybe gain a few of these positions back. But the front 3 have broken away, and Owen has actually gone for the lead of the race now, getting past Pav. And now it's going to be all down to Arbon. Can Owen help Arbon get through? As we've got F Crew in the chat. Good evening, Crew. How's it going, brother? Hope you're well. And this one is getting very spicy. Owen now taking the lead on lap 9.
Yep, good move from Owen there, and maybe a tactical move as well. It means he can dictate a strategy if someone's going to undercut behind him potentially. We'll see where Evo comes out in all of this. His teammate Hayes has now came in. Quite a few more cars have came into the pit lane for their one and only pit stop of this race. But it's going to be interesting to see if Pav tries to fight back on this lap, because he's got a lot less battery than Owen to try and attack.
Yeah, and we've been out in the front for so long as well. We know the tyre deg can be quite high. I think it is a high one here at Silverstone. And leading the race is not always good for the tyres, is it? He's got to be, you know, Owen is going to have been pushing him. He's going to have been using the ERS. As we know, he is a lot lower on ERS than Owen. So Owen's got a great opportunity. Maybe if he can get a good couple of corners to try and break away from Pav, you can tell he has more grip on them, on his mediums. Currently, he's just building that gap to Pav. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to break the DRS, but he's having a bloody good crack at it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is in lap, to be honest, because he is flying on lap 10 at the moment. And it would be a perfect time to pick, because Evo is going to be well and truly in their undercut window now, and he is going to come in. So that explains why he took the lead. He wanted to command this race and to kind of be the first driver in that top 3 to make their pit stop.
Yeah, Pav joins him in the pits, and it's Arbon who has to stay out that extra lap. He would have lost maybe a couple of positions with drivers pitting already with the double stack. So he's taking the pain here, going out that extra lap. But let's hope it pays off for the Aston Martin team in the end. He will have that 1 lap fresher tyre than the drivers in front of him. And let's have a look at Evo, where Evo comes out. Evo across the line. Great lap from him, a 129.374. Has he done enough? He's done more than enough to take the lead of this race there. And can the Mercedes get through of Ami on Owen? He's putting Owen under pressure here, and that is Ami through. And could that affect Owen's race here? He's going to be stuck in behind Ami with Evo just dancing off into the distance at this moment in time.
Slight problem for Ami. He's gone medium.
Oh, 2-stop for Ami then. Let's see how that pays off for Ami. I don't think... I mean, it could be a good strategy for Ami. They might be able to gain some positions at the end on the softs. Who knows? But Evo, great undercut. Great undercut to get into the lead of this race.
Great out lap, great push lap. He absolutely flew those extra 2 laps he had on those hard compound tyres. 3 seconds is the gap now, and he just needs to try and maintain that, but without killing his tyres. Owen is going to be pushing like hell to try and open the gap up a little bit more to Pav behind. It's now 1.7, and he's going to be under threat from Rusted Bolt, who's going to be closing in.
Yeah, Owen needs to make this move quick, and because Ami's tyres are going to be starting to die over the next few laps, it's going to cost him time. And it's Ami's not going to want to lose any positions with doing that 2-stop. He wants to try and minimise the amount of positions that he actually loses here. So he's going to fight Owen. And that could just allow Evo that breathing space. Even though Owen's got the fresher tyres, the battle that he has on his hands now could cost him a bit of tyre wear near the end of the race that keeps Evo in the lead. But he does have that breathing space to Pav. Rusted Bolt right on the rear diffuser of Pav. Maybe they can work together to try and close up to the back of Ami and Owen. That's going to benefit Pav in it and Rusted Bolt towards the end of the race if they can close the gap while Ami's tyres are deteriorating.
Absolutely. So this could either work out better for Owen, or it could work out worse. It could work out good because it means the car ahead is on the quicker tyres. It could help him catch up to Evo. However, Dirtier could come into contention a bit for Owen. It can make him lose time and make Pav and Rusted Bolt close in. And they're not really battling at the moment. It kind of looks like they're working together to try and close that gap to Evo, to Owen. But really, if they want any chance of catching Evo, all 4 of them really need to work together here.
Yeah, it's at the point now where if you want to win this race, no matter what driver's in front of you, you've got to work as teammates. As Pav is now in behind us, and Owen has managed to get past, and that is the move he needed to make. And now he's got to use these fresher tyres to try and close up. But is Ami going to try and go for it? This is where Ami kind of needs to use the DRS now in it and try and go for that move again. And if anything, try and help his teammate get back within DRS range, because it's going to help the team overall with bringing home some big points maybe in this opening race at Silverstone.
Absolutely, yeah. So for the team's championship, I know it's early on, I know it's only round 1, but if they want to work together, it's what they need to do, because the Aston Martin player is looking very, very good at the moment. Of course, Ami's not going to be able to get to the end of this race, so the least he could do really, try and help his teammate catch up to Owen Howe. But the gap at the front, opening up to 4 seconds. Evo is not messing about at all here. He's just taking off as we reach the halfway point.
Yeah, Evo showing his pace was strong, and he had the belief in himself to go in that little bit earlier than his competitors in front, and he's holding a 4-second gap so far. But let's have a look a bit further back, as I think Pav there really hitting those curves hard, really trying to push that Mercedes, trying to close up the gap, trying to get within DRS range. Hayes doing well in the Alpine, in at P7, trying to chase down Arbon, the other Aston Martin driver. And again, this is where Arbon and Hayes kind of going to have to work together, close that gap up, trying, because Arbon, you know, we know he's got some decent pace, but he's not in that podium battle anymore, and he's got quite a bit to do if he wants to get back onto that onto that podium. And he goes in there with the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:29 from Arbon. So he's got the pace, but can he make it work?
Yeah, that's quite a statement from Arbon, to be fair. Without DRS, gets the fastest lap of the race, showing that he's not giving up a fight for this podium just yet. And again, it just shows how close this grid is. 1 lap pit difference could just change up the order. It was Owen, Pav and Arbon the top 3. And now it's only Owen who was in that top 3 before, who's still there now. Evo, who was P4, did the earliest pit stop of them all, and he's now over 4 seconds clear and doesn't look any sign of slowing down.
He really doesn't. He's just picking up the pace. He's pinching like half a 10th here. Owen is slowly but surely, he's pinching a little bit back, but when Evo sees that pinch, he's taking it right back and keeping that pressure on that Owen. As Evo... No! Evo there really has all the work to do now. The pressure gets put right back on his shoulders. We were praising him, but I think the commentator's curse kind of came into play there. His final warning, and he gets a 3-second time penalty, Corey. I mean, how are you feeling at this point with that 3-second time penalty hanging over your head?
Tell you what, it's made this race even more spicy now. It's going to be tough for him to keep it at the end because he's on the oldest tyres in them all. They are going to drop off at some point compared to the other drivers around him. But now he has to keep a 3-second gap if he wants to win the first Division 2 race of the season. Evo dropping down from McEwen Division last season, didn't have a great season. He's very much found his feet once again in Division 2. He's hoping he can start off the season with a win, but he's making it very, very hard for himself as Pav has got past his teammate as they've done the old switch at Mercedes.
Yeah, I think Ami's tyres showing the signs of wear now. The hard compounded tyres, more grip, and now Pav has got to push. He's got to close that gap. Try and get back onto the back of Owen, but Owen driving really well here, driving with consistency, conviction, and it could pay off in the end. I mean, the tyre drop-off could be immense, and we could see Owen close up, but Evo's just, yeah, he's seen that 3 seconds, and he's started to turn up the heat a little bit, apply a bit more pressure to Owen, because he does have that 3-second gap, but there is that second there that he needs to keep that done. He needs to keep that consistently throughout the rest of this race.
Absolutely, and we're seeing a lot more penalties pop up now, as we normally do in the second half of the race. Rusted Bolt is the next one to fall to a track limit penalty. Another 3 seconds for him. 10 laps to go now, and it's really got spicy now for the first Division 2 race of the season. Evo leads by 4.1, but with that 3-second penalty, Owen, the man who started on pole for the past 2 seasons now, is looking to start off this season with a race win, but he needs to close that gap to under 3 seconds to have any chance of getting it.
We've got a pretty interesting battle for P8, quite a few cars involved. We've got Goggy, we've got Kislesko, we've got Carlito, we've got Ryan. It's really kicking off. It's looking like a really good battle this for P8. Anybody could win it. I mean, Goggy does have that time penalty as well as the Kick Sauber driver and lands it, and CJ, which is obviously going to affect him. Legend making a move there. Legend getting through. Has he shaken that early upset that he had? As we now see him do an overtake instead of being overtaken on lap 16. And let's hope for his sake this is the comeback for Legend and for the VCAB team. As Ryan Harris going wide there on the exit. The Ferrari driver picking up a warning. Next one will be a 3-second time penalty for the Ferrari driver, so has to keep it in between those white lines.
Oh, Arbon! Oh, Ami's out! Ami's gone round. He's had contact with Arbon. Tried to keep it up the inside, but they both made contact going into Stoke Corner. Ami's into the pit lane for his pit stop because his tyres were dead, but he did not want to give that position up to Arbon at all, who has been flying his way up the order the past couple of laps. Yeah,
the paces look really strong for the Aston Martin driver, but contact with Ami maybe cost him a bit of pace there now, and he's just not looking settled, looking a bit rattled, is Arbon. Getting a bit squirrely on the exit, losing the control of the car a bit, and Rusted Bolt smelling a bit of blood here. And can he get past the unsettled Aston Martin driver? He's got the DRS, he's having a little look, and it's just not going to be close enough there. So yeah, Arbon a little flustered here on lap 17.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. It just needs to get back in that state of flow again. He was in a really good place the last couple of laps, made up 3 places. I had a lot of pressure, but he kind of took it all in and just thrived. But yeah, that little contact he had there with the Mercedes car, as you said, just unsettled him a bit, but it means nothing really at the end of the day. I don't think it's going to be a penalty, but we'll see if it gets sent in afterwards. But yeah, Arbon just needs to calm down a little bit now. Knows a podium could still be on with about 8-9 laps to go.
Yeah, but Rusted Bull, he's going to know. He's seen it. He's seen that Arbon maybe a little bit rattled, and maybe can feel that just that extra little pressure on the Aston Martin driver. Could see him get an easy overtake. But the battle's still continuing on. Team Ferrari in at P8 and 9. And I think we've got Goggy into the pit lane. We do, as the other Ferrari driver now moves up into P8. And Legend right in behind him. And it's good to, I think it's good to see Legend actually making moves, as we did see him drop down under that first stint. But he does seem to have settled down now and looking all the better for it. Really getting involved in this race now.
Yeah, read my mind. Legend, past few laps, quite some decent overtakes. As you said, very tough first half of the race. But the second he's got on those hard compound tyres, he's been flying his way back up the order, back into the points he goes. I think maybe he could get maybe a 7th place after penalties, but still quite a few laps to go now. Arbin looks to have maybe settled back down after that incident. I've just seen Runda in the chat ask if it was a racing incident from my POV. I mean, I caught the end of it. To be honest with you, it looked like Ami just really wanted to keep that position from Arbin, to hold him off as much as he can, just from his teammate, to be honest. And I think that was kind of the play. But yeah, we'll see what the stewards think after that one. But Arbin is now closing the gap to Pav.
Good evening, Blake. Just quickly there, but yeah, Arbon, I've been watching his pace while you were talking there, and he is definitely closing that gap. It was 7/10 last at the beginning of this lap, and he has since took half a second on this lap alone out of Pav, and he's still taking more as we go through the final few corners. Gets a little bit unsettled there as he made his way through Club, lost a 10th, but very much is closing that gap to the Mercedes driver, and we still could see a double podium finish for the Aston Martin team. 100%, but we've got more pit stops now. Hayes into the pits, Ryan's into the pits. So, two-stop strategy looking like it's being favoured from quite a few drivers here.
Yeah, so I don't know too much about the F1 strategy on this game. I've barely really touched the F1 cars, but we'll see how the two-stop works out. Maybe Ami's pit call to go on a double medium is maybe the right call, because he's just got ahead of Hayes now. He's now back into the points of this race. Halo sets the fastest lap now of this race. But yeah, Arbin's still under pressure from Rusted Bolt, but still a long, long way to go in this race. But I'm intrigued to see how these two-stop runners get on, to be honest.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how the two-stop will work. And like we said, when we seen Ami move on to that second set of mediums, we knew that he had to hold on to as many positions as he could, so he didn't lose too many once he come back out. But he's come out in a decent position. He's P10. He is nearly 10 seconds behind Skullkiller. But he can still, he's going to have fresher tyres to the end now. There's still, 7 laps of racing to go, and it's not the shortest of circuits, is it really?
No, a pretty long one, to be fair. It's how long is it? Just over, I think just over 3.5 miles, I want to say, of this track. 18 corners, but yeah, some very, very fast corners, to be fair. So it feels like the lap goes a lot quicker behind the wheel than it does in the commentary box for us. But yeah, I tell you what, we've got a very good last 7 or so laps in store here, because we've got people on two stops. We've got drivers very close to penalties with track limits as well.
Yeah, Lanzi is one of them. The Ferrari driver of Ryan Harris, very, very close to poop. Just one more for Ryan and Lanzi. We'll see them picking up time penalties, which can be detrimental to people's races. We have seen, obviously, a few other people picking up the track limits. Can't quite scroll through them all, but there is a few that are really on the edge and have really got to be careful here as we move into these final handful of laps. As we get SLR Molly in the chat, how we doing? Hope you're enjoying this one as much as we are. The strategies are all coming into play as we move into this final portion of the race. And are we going to see any of the two-stoppers maybe potentially try and break up into that top 6? Carlito currently P6, and it's been a good race so far for the Williams driver. He's kind of been in a bit of no man's land, had the race kind of to himself until the pit stop phases. CJ not too far behind, but so far Williams driver's done really well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen him pull off some really good moves tonight. He's had a few quiet moments, but when we haven't been watching him, that's when he's been kind of doing the work silently, getting those good laps in, getting the gaps down. Has kept it track limit free at the moment, and he's on for a very good result. If he closed the gaps anymore to Rusty Bolt, could be on for a top 5 finish. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, and Carlito's one of them drivers for me that I've watched for a fair few seasons now, commentated on him, and the pace that he's been finding, picking up the consistency from him as well. I'm sure like Nello would agree if he's in the chat, that, you know, he's just gone from strength to strength. He's actually shaking his car, thinking disagreement there, gives it a little bit of a wiggle. I know he will be listening along, but, you know, he's another driver that's been great to see the progression, and it seems to be paying off for him here. P6 in what is a very, very competitive grid.
Absolutely. The battle for the final podium place at the moment is really starting to heat up. Pav has had a pretty poor past few laps by his standard. It's meant Arbon managed to catch up and get the DRS. That one lap of extra fresh tyres for Arbon seems to be working out. Rusted Bolt, with a penalty of course, still in the fight, still giving it his best shot. But Arbon is on for a really good chance for a podium here still. Yeah,
definitely. Evo is just consistently keeping that lead that he has to around 4.1 seconds, but he's had a bit of a moment. I think Evo's made a bit of a mistake, because Owen has just gained half a second, and could we see the Alpine driver getting a bit flustered here as we move into the final few laps? Half a second loss, but he gains it right back there, up to 4.2, as Owen had a little bit of a moment.
He's made a mistake. He's gone into the grass.
He has
found over a second on the last lap to Evo, and now he's lost nearly 3.
And now, is Pav going to try and close the gap? He's seen the mistake from Owen. They know that they can potentially get into the fight for P2. Pav with it all to do, though. He's got Arbon, who's looking really racy. Rusted Bull, regardless of the time penalty, is going to try and go for a podium. It's what all of us do as drivers when we get in a race. Regardless of that penalty hanging over your head, you want to try and finish either in the lead of the race or in a podium position, and that's what Rusted Bull will try and do here. And that's all you can do in it, Corey. Regardless, you've got to give it your all to the end.
Absolutely, yeah. No matter what penalties you've got, you know you're in the fight. You've got to stay in the fight till the checkered flag, and Rusted Bull doing just that. Knows he's not going to drop any more positions at the moment if he stays on that penalty, but he's going to give it his all, because he knows any driver around him could get a penalty himself. Then it's fair game. Wherever he finishes on track, he will keep that position. But at the moment, he's going to finish P5 on penalties. But Owen will be absolutely kicking himself for that lap, put himself under a lot of pressure to catch up. He had the pace to close up and maybe get it under 3 seconds, but right now it's looking very unlikely he's going to get that race win.
We've got who is that in the chat? I can't see it. It's LSJ Racing in the chat there, saying Evo surely at puncture range by now. I mean, I do have his telemetry. I don't personally like giving out what I see his tyres are on. It is team telemetry, so it could be completely different, but all I'll say is he's looking safe. That's all I'm going to say.
Normally you can tell by the shade of the tyre as well, and I'm going to agree with you and say he is going to be safe to the end. His pace may drop off. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give away too much, but his pace looks like it might drop off a bit towards the end. But I think that mistake from Owen is going to cost him this race, to be honest, because he had sensational pace, and now it just looks like he's trying to get back in that state of flow again, but he just can't get into that same rhythm he had.
Yeah, it's definitely unsettled Owen massively. A big mistake sees him potentially look at a P2 spot once again here at Silverstone. Won qualifying last season, I believe, and then I think he only managed. Did he manage to win that one, or did he get P2?
Was that last season?
Yeah, last season.
Last season, Owen finished P2, so yeah, he could be on for back-to-back P2s, and I think that's just going to feel double the pain after missing out last season.
Yeah, definitely. And he was trying to push, and maybe he could have crept in just under that 3 second with the better grip at the end, but that extra loss of 2 seconds has just got to settle down now, and he's got the pace to keep Pav at bay. He has gained time, and he's continuing to gain time as we see Rusted Bolt and Arbon go side by side. Rusted Bolt looking to get past Arbon, DRS active. They continue on side by side down the Wellington Straight, but Arbon had that extra pace there and went for the move and managed to maintain the position. This is just allowing Pav in it just to breathe a little bit, knowing that they're going side by side. Because when you see drivers going side by side, there is usually that little bit of time loss that helps that driver in front just feel that little bit easier.
Absolutely. He's going to be loving seeing this battling behind him at the moment. Legend gets a penalty. But yeah, he's going to be loving seeing this battle behind him. Rusty Bolt, I tell you what, after watching him quite a bit this race, he knows when to pick his opportunity. He sees the slightest error from his rival ahead, he makes the move. That's exactly what he did on Arby. May have not got the move completed, but he put him under pressure, and that's exactly what you got to do in these kind of scenarios when he's got that penalty, when he knows he may not get it after the checkered flag, but he's doing his absolute hardest to try and make it happen. But Pav is still going to be shaking in that cockpit because he's got Arbon still right behind him as we go on to the penultimate lap of the race.
Yeah, and into the penultimate lap of the race we go, and Hayes in at P10. Currently is still making moves. Ami down in P11. Looks like the two-stop just hasn't really worked that well. The Ferrari team still out of the top 10. P12 and 14 for them. Legend has... It's not... I mean, he showed some good pace, but should he have stayed on the hard? Should he have tried going to the end? Because the two-stop strategy looks like it's cost these drivers in reality. As we move into, like we said, we're going into the final lap very shortly. Evo is he's lost a second to Owen. Owen is trying to push and try and catch Evo. Tyres looking still in very good shape for Evo, and brilliant drive. I mean, he really has done well on the tyres from what I'm looking at. I mean, he's managed the wear brilliantly.
Absolutely, he just needs to get it home now in one piece. He's lost 7 tenths to Owen on the previous lap, so it could be close to the end of the race. Owen's going to be kicking himself. He's going to be losing this race at the moment. But Evo, take a bow, because that undercut looks like it's going to pay off. But we've still got a lap to go. It still could change. It
definitely still could change as he is closing up, and punches can come at any time. I've seen them happen at all different percentages while doing comms. People saying, oh no, I got this percent and that percent. Let's just hope for SLR Evo's sake that he manages to hold on to the lead of the race, making a slight mistake there through turn 2. But it's not cost him too much time. Still 1.5 seconds Owen needs to find on this lap to try and win this one. Pav's got Arbon in behind him. We'll watch this battle for P3. Can Arbon do it? The pace has been great from him. Can he join his Aston Martin teammate back on the podium? It all comes down to this final lap for the Aston Martin team. Arbon has to hold on here.
He's done a great job. He had the opportunity to take the position at Stowe last lap, but he chose not to. He's going to wait to the final lap. His teammate Owen found 8 tenths on Evo last lap, but I don't think it's going to be enough this lap. He needs to find another second in the last half of the lap. But here comes Arbon now towards Cop's corner. Surely he's not going to go for a move. Here he is. He's going to go look up the inside of the Mercedes on the final lap of this race. Can he make the move where they're still side by side with the outside line for the Mercedes? He's going to go side by side now into Maggers and Becker's. Arbon with the outside line has got the move done, but the Mercedes will have the DRS going into Stowe.
Yeah, and now it's down to Pav. Has he got enough ERS in hand? Has he got a good run out of Chapel? It looks like Pav has had a brilliant few corners there, and it looks like Pav may be under pressure from Rusty Bolt. He's having to defend. Pav with a puncher! I'm sure, has he got a puncher? I think he has. It looked like he had a puncher. He does have a puncher. Evo does take the win of the race. Sorry, Evo. Brilliant win from him. Owen getting the P2. Just some 4 tenths off. Evo there snatching the win, but Arbon does move up onto the final podium position, and due to Pav picking up a puncher, Rusty Bolt P5, Carlito a respectable P6, CJ in at 7, Ami moves up to 8, Skullkiller P9, Hayes P10. The Kick Sauber driver also with a puncher on the final lap there. I think coming across the line may have picked up that puncher. Seeing a few punches there. P12, there's P13 of Kislesko Gogi, P14. But yeah, a couple of punches there, spicing up the end of the race. But SLR Evo, what a drive, Corey. What a drive.
Absolutely. I think even with those punches at the end, it just shows how great of a drive he did. He saved his tyres, he used his pace when he needed to. 18 laps on the hard compound tyre. It's important the race on the hard, and he wins by 4 tenths in the end. Owen will be kicking himself. He made that mistake. He could have easily have won that one, but he is going to be very devastated. Back-to-back pole positions at Silverstone and back-to-back P2s.
As we get Pav in the chat there saying, I am happy for the first race. I got a punch it. Yeah, we seen Pav. We did see it. A few drivers, but it showed that, like Corey just said, the SLR Evo, he managed this race so well once he went onto the hard compounder tyres. He knew he had to get them laps in early once he got out so he could get the undercut, get that bit of breathing space. Obviously, Owen coming out behind Amy didn't kind of help in his pursuit. The big mistake from Owen as well. He would have definitely had the race win. But SLR Evo, congratulations on that. And congratulations to the Aston Martin team at the end. Really good result for the opening race of the season. Having 2 drivers up on the podium. They've got to be happy with that one.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we saw their chemistry from qualifying when they're giving each other toes on their final run. They take, I believe, the most points from this opening round, but Evo takes the most points in the drivers. 5th on the grid. He showed his pace earlier on in the first stint. He was patient, and that was the main thing. Showing your patience in a division like this with how close it is, and he used the pace at the end, and it paid off. He gets the 25 points. He gets the first race win of the season.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant drive from Evo. Absolutely brilliant. Just had the confidence, didn't he, in himself and his tyres and his drive to get the race win. I don't quite know who's actually joined us in the chat. There is someone, but we are going to be doing some interviews. The top 3 join us. So go on, Corey. I'll let you take over. You can question Evo. Go on.
Evo, race win then, just about in the end, 0.4 of a second. Owen was catching, but made that slight mistake. It looked like you had a similar mistake as well, not long before that. But you do get the race win in the end, the 25 points. How are you feeling after that one? Because it looks so close to losing it at the end. You took the risk with the undercut, and it paid off. Talk us through it.
Yeah, first of all, GG's to Owen and Arben, especially Owen. Can't be honest, all race on that one. GG's to them. Yeah, no, the race was fun. I was struggling a little bit with the train in the first stint, and I was like, right, well, I know tyre wear is quite bad around here. I was going to go for the 2-stop, and then picked up the 3-second penalty. I think it was about halfway through my second stint, and I was like, no, I have to now go to the end. And my God, it was sketchy. I never want to do that again.
Was that kind of your goal from the start though? Because you were the first to pit really out of that train. Was that really your goal from the start? Because your pace was so strong. You were challenging the pace of the top 3, but it looked like you just couldn't get through.
Yeah, so as I said, I knew the tyre wear was quite bad for me around here. So I was going to go for a 2-stop anyway, medium hard. I know I lose about 10 odd seconds doing it, but my tyre wear was just that bad for it. But then managed to get I think it was a 4-second lead, I think it was, after Owen and that train pitted. I was like, oh right, okay, well, done a bit of tyre saving, then picked up the 3-second pen, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to go towards the end now. And finished the race, I think it was 85 plus rear left tyre wear. So I don't want to do that again. How I didn't get a puncture goes beyond me. But,
Sound like fun.
yeah, car was definitely sliding a lot. I'll give it that.
Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, massive GG's, Evo. I mean, I just want to point out the tyre saving. I mean, really did it seemed like it was the key to the race win. Obviously, Owen did make that big mistake that kind of cost him the time, and I mean, with the pace that he had, and obviously your tyre dead compared to his, would have been, massive, and he could have got that race win with having the penalty. But in the end, knowing that you had to save them tyres really did pay off, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But as I said, Owen, to be honest, all race, ever since I picked up that 3-second pen, I was like, I have to keep at least 4-second gap to Owen, whilst trying to save tyres and battery and everything else. Yeah, fair play, GG's to him.
Yeah, GG's, lad.
Looking forward to the next race.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be an interesting season between the pair of you, but thank you for that, Evo, lad. GG's, and nice to hear from you again. But yeah, we move on to... Nice to hear from you, brother. But yeah, we move on to P2, and it is Owen. I mean, Owen, GG's, that P1 evades you once again. But how was the race for you apart from that mistake?
Yeah, it was fine. It was one of them. I've not always enjoyed myself here. I mean, I've still eluding the race win, as you say. I've still not won at this circuit. I thought there was a chance, and then just got a little bit too much on that curb at turn 2, I think it was, and then all of a sudden I just felt the car moving at the same time when I stopped the steering wheel, so it was a bit weird. But yeah, I mean, I managed to recover it, and I think the main thing was that I kept position at that point, and then yeah, I mean, it was hard to tell what Evo was doing because he pit so early, the idea in my head was that he was going to end up doing a 2-stop, so I wasn't pushing too much and just saving my tyres to start off with. And then when that penalty came up and then the laps were going on and on, I've gone thinking, hang on a second, he's going to try and push it here. And I was struggling to get that gap down, and then the last few laps I was able to push a bit more, and if it wasn't for that mistake, probably would have done it, but I'm still very happy with P2.
Yeah, I mean, great qualifying from you and a great P2. Any questions for Owen, Corey?
Again, just kind of commiserations to you, Owen. Obviously, second season in a row you've got pole and you finished P2. Is maybe season 17 going to be the chance for you? Because it feels like it's not a matter of when, it feels like a matter of if. When, not if, sorry, if you're going to get this win at Silverstone, because you've got so much pace around here and it just feels like a matter of time till you get it.
Yeah, as I say, it's just been one that has evaded me, and it's annoying, considering especially through the last few years where I have had the pace to fight at the top of Div 2 in comparison to seasons previous. So I'm just, maybe one day, if depends how long I can stick around, but we'll see.
You've got Belgium coming up next. How are you feeling ahead of Belgium? Because obviously we know you've got the pace to fight for the championship. You finished runner up last season. Have you got that fuel, that drive to kind of get that championship this season?
I think I'd like to think that'd be the goal, that'd be the aim. But we'll see. I think there's definitely a couple races that I'll be out of, so I'll set myself back a little bit. A bit like what it was last season. I always knew that I was going to be that one race down, so we'll have to see how exactly it all plays out between now and the end of the season. Spa's going to be an interesting one. Again, I've had good pace when we have raced there, and last season was a bit of a write-off because it was very weather affected, as Spa can be, and I never really got to grips with it, unfortunately. But we can hope it'll be better. Weather conditions like it was today would be ideal, hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Best of luck next week, and that's it from me.
Yeah, so we'll move on to P3. It is Arbon. I mean, Aston Martin had a really good result here this evening, and you had a really strong drive throughout that race. Obviously, the pit stop phase did kind of affect you. You know, you did lose a couple positions, but you did not let that affect you, and you really did fight for that podium at the end. How was the race for you? Talk us through it, fella.
I mean, it was good. The pace was good. Of course, I'm delighted to have Owen as my teammate, but definitely not on lap 10 of that race. Of course, he's the car ahead. He gets the pit stop. I had to pit on lap 11. I don't know if you guys saw on stream, but I had a puncture for the last sector, which I think cost me a bit of time. But you know, you just get your head down. I felt the pace was good. I think I probably ran a little bit too high wings, and my I couldn't really pass. I couldn't pass the Mercedes earlier than I wanted to. But you know, overall, I'm really happy. Another podium in Div 2, continuing my form from last season, and like you say, great result of Aston. And I joked before the season that the constructors was already done before round 1, and well, that's a great start.
Yeah, absolutely amazing start. The constructors, I mean, everybody's got Aston Martin to win it, so like you say, absolutely amazing start for you, and you know, GG's on that drive. It really was brilliant to watch.
Thank
and
you.
To see you making your way through, you having them battles, Pav obviously keeping you very honest. I mean, do you feel that, like, obviously the puncher did kind of help, but did you feel on that last lap that you had enough to get the move done on Pav and keep hold of that P3?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I was in despite pitting the latest, I was in puncher territory myself because I had to get in. There's loads of times where I had to get in DRS of cars because of incidents or whatever happened, so I had to push my tyres. But no, I mean, it's easy to say now, but I was very confident that I could hold P3, and I'm a little bit gutted that well, first of all, congratulations to Evo. I don't know how the flippy didn't get a puncher hitting lap 8, but fair play to him, fair play to Owen for saving the tyres, and yeah. I'm very happy with P3, and I think I would have held it, regardless if Pav got a puncher or not.
Corey, anything to say, fella?
Yeah, just congratulations, Arben, on P3. Obviously, continuing your great form from the end of last season. What is kind of your goal really for the rest for this season going forward? Because as you said, you ended last season really well. It's where you got your majority of your points. I think you finished P6 in the championship, I want to say. What is kind of your target for this season? Because it's quite clear you've got the pace. We saw it in the first stint. We saw your amazing last few laps as well in this one.
To be honest, my main goal is the championship. That's what I'm going for this season. A couple of seasons, Division 2, I've sort of like been there or thereabouts, but this season I am going for the main one. Of course, in the server prediction, I was predicted to win it. I don't think it'll be as simple as that, but no. Of course, there's going to be some great competition, but my goal is to win the championship and hopefully, of course, be just with Owen. But the main thing is getting that drivers' championship.
Absolutely. Last one from me. Next round, Belgium, round 2 of the season. Are you hoping to continue this form? Are you wanting to try and better it? How are you feeling ahead of Belgium? What's your pace saying?
Well, Belgium has been an unbelievable track for me. P2 in McKean, for Christ's sake, before. I think I can do well there. I know. Admittedly, I haven't really got on F1 25 too much around here, but I can put the practice in and put the work in, and hopefully, another strong result, and maybe get the top step of the podium if I can.
Fingers crossed for you. Best of luck.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you so much to the lads who got the podium positions. Massive GGs once again to Evo and Owen and Arbon on an absolutely thrilling race here at Silverstone this evening. As we said, just a little bit out of reach for Owen, not being able to get the race win, but still a great race nonetheless, and picking up P2. Evo, just tyre whisperer, and really did go for it, and great race from him. What it could have been for Pav, without that tyre thingy, as we said, like Arbon said, it's easy to say now, but he feels he could have had it, but Pav still could have been there. But nonetheless, I think a stacked grid. I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant season. Going to be very interesting to see the battles as the season goes on. But yeah, really brilliant race here this evening, Corey.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, we saw the excellence from the Aston Martin pair. We saw Evo getting himself back up there on the top step. I mean, Mercedes have quite clearly got the pace. One of them kind of chose the wrong strategy, but has the pace. But yeah, the other one kind of led quite a bit at the early stages of the race. But once it come to that pit stop, just looked to have made the wrong call. Owen got through and it just kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite an incredible fight for not just the Drivers' Championship, but for the Constructors as well. And that's kind of just Division 2 in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, it definitely is. But it's been an absolutely amazing race here. Thank you so much for everybody that joined us in the chat this evening. Thank you to, again, the lads joining us for the interview afterwards. Thank you so much to Corey as well. Been really fun doing the joint comms. Let's hope it moves into next week as well for Spa. But that's going to be enough from me this evening. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time for more racing here at SLR. Have a great evening, people. Good night.